Welcome to our first Alumni Thought Leadership podcast for 2025. We are in the scholarship application season for study in 2026. We've therefore decided to use this podcast to update our listeners about the Australia Award scholarships and the application process for the 2026 intake. I've invited my Australia Awards colleagues to each present different sections of which they are the experts. So in this episode, we will cover an overview of the 2025 scholarships application period, 2026 eligibility criteria, gender equality, diversity and social inclusion aspects, reintegration action plans, and courses and university placements. So first up is one of our awards experts, Stembile. Ste?
Australia Awards Africa is a prestigious scholarship program that aims to advance the growth of professionals from eligible African countries towards fostering inclusive development. This is done through supporting eligible Africans to pursue master's degree in their specialization in Australia. Applications for the Masters 2026 intake open on the 1st of February and will close on the 30th of April 2025 at 23:59 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. It is very important to note that the deadline is not local time in Africa. Therefore, being organized and planning well in advance of the deadline date is good practice, as the Australia Day ends earlier due to time zone differences. Submit your application by no later than 29 April 2025 to ensure you do not miss the deadline. Now, you may be wondering who is eligible to apply for these awards. Applicants must first be applying from an eligible country, which includes Algeria, Angola, Benin, Botswana, Cote d'Ivoire, DRC, Egypt, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Morocco, Mozambique, Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, Senegal, Sierra Leone, South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. If you are from one of these countries but you live in another country, you are eligible to apply only if you work for an African regional organization or a diplomatic mission for your home country, provided you meet the other eligibility criteria that we will discuss shortly. Now that you know which countries are eligible to apply, let's discuss the priority areas of study. A common question that comes up is, how are these priority sectors chosen? Well, the eligible sectors represent areas of mutual interest to both Australia and the eligible African countries, as well as fields where Australia is recognized as having world-class expertise. With that in mind, the 5 key areas that are eligible for consideration include agriculture and food security, climate change, gender, disability and social inclusion, foreign policy and international security, and last but not least, mining and energy. If you work within any of these priority sectors, it is important to understand your country's national development priorities in relation to your sector. Your application needs to demonstrate an understanding of your country's national strategic plans and priorities, as well as documentation showing support of your application from your employer. It is important that your application shows evidence that your strategic areas of focus has been discussed with and is supported by your company, organization, or ministry. Your proposed course and university preference must also align with these priorities. Australia Awards Africa's strategic focus is centered on equipping African professionals with the knowledge, skills, and networks necessary to create a positive change in their communities, professional fields, or even at national level. The program is guided by 4 end-of-program outcomes. They are: alumni use new skills, knowledge, and attitudes to contribute positively to their professional fields or communities. Alumni are using their new skills, knowledge, and attitudes to contribute to gender equality. Alumni or have or support links with Australia, Australian organizations, or other Australia Awards alumni. Alumni view Australia and Australians in a positive light. The program prioritizes gender equality, disability, and social inclusion, ensuring that alumni actively contribute to more inclusive and equitable societies. Beyond just individual capacity building, the program encourages sustained links between alumni and Australian organizations and its people to strengthen bilateral and multilateral partnerships. Ultimately, Australia Awards aims to create the next generation of influential leaders who can respond to the continent's development challenges while strengthening ties between their home countries and Australia. Next up is Melvin.
Thank you, Stambile. I will take you through the language requirements. If you're interested in applying from a francophone or a lusophone country, meaning the primary language of official communication in your country is not English, you will be required to submit an English test as part of your application. There are 3 acceptable English tests that are recognized by Australian universities. These include IELTS or IELTS, where you need to score at least 6.5, with no individual band score less than 6.0. There is internet-based TOEFL, where you need to score at least 84, with a minimum of 21 in all subsets. And lastly, PTE Academic, where you need an overall score of 58, with no communicative skills score less than 50. These are the minimum acceptable requirements for English testing. We will note, however, that particular courses may have a higher English language requirement, but if applicable, this would only be relevant to you if you're successful after all stages of selection. I'll now take you through the eligibility criteria. We will mention some of the general eligibility criteria for consideration, but more detailed information can be found on our website at www.australiaawardsafrica.org. Please visit our website and complete the pre-application form. This will help you to understand whether you are eligible to apply for the scholarship or not. So you must be at least 25 years of age as of 1st February 2026. You must be currently employed and have a minimum of 5 years postgraduate work experience in a field that is relative to your field of study. This means that you are not eligible to apply if you do not have an undergraduate degree or if you have insufficient relevant work experience. It is important to note that the work experience must be in the priority field that you are applying for. You also must not already hold a master's degree or equivalent or be currently studying towards a master's degree. Associated with this point, you must also have not received any long-term Australia award previously. In addition to the above criteria, the following must also be true. You or your spouse may not hold or be applying for Australian citizenship or permanent residency. Current serving military personnel are not eligible to apply, and you must be applying for a master's degree. Secondary schooling, undergraduate degrees, PhDs, and postgraduate fellowship applications are not accepted. If your work and area of focus aligns with one of the priority sectors and you meet all other eligibility criteria, we would encourage you to submit a carefully considered and comprehensive application online. All requisite documentation is mandatory, including a completed application form, an updated CV, your academic degree certificate, your academic transcripts, your passport, and your authentic English language tests if you're from a non-English speaking country and study and work in an environment where English is not the primary language of communication. Please label your documents clearly and submit them in an organized fashion for ease of reference. To reiterate, please visit our website on www.australiaawardsafrica.org for more information on the full list of eligibility criteria for the awards and how to submit an application. The program particularly encourages applications from women, people with disabilities, and other marginalized groups. We have equity of access procedures in place through every stage of the process, from application through to mobilization and study in Australia. So please don't hesitate to apply if you're an eligible candidate who has experienced barriers related to being from any marginalized group. Australia Awards Africa receives extremely high volumes of applications, but only 37% of these are actually eligible to apply. To ensure that you stand the best chance of getting an award, go to our website and click on Apply for an Award. You will go through a pre-application form to assess your eligibility before you can submit an application. It is important to make sure that you meet all eligibility requirements before submitting an application. Applicants who do not meet even one eligibility criteria are ineligible to apply for an award, and their application will not be assessed further. Once you have determined that you are eligible to apply, please make sure that you complete every question on the application form. Please also ensure that you upload all supporting documentation that must accompany your application. Failure to complete a question or failure to upload all supporting documentation will result in your application being rejected. The Australia Awards Africa requires applicants to submit the following documents: a copy of the biometrics page of your passport, a copy of your undergraduate degree certificate and transcripts. You must submit both. A copy of your CV in English, an employer referee report, and the referee report must be completed by your direct supervisor or someone with seniority at your organization who supports your application. It must not be completed by your peer or a subordinate. An academic referee from your undergraduate institution must also submit a referee report. And if you're from a non-English speaking country, you'll also be required to upload your English language proficiency certificate. This is to say that if you're from Algeria, Angola, Benin, Côte d'Ivoire, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Egypt, Ethiopia, Madagascar, Morocco, Mozambique, Rwanda, and Senegal. All documents should be submitted as clear scans and labeled appropriately for ease of identification. Each document should be represented as one single upload file. This means do not merge unrelated documents together, such as a passport and a CV, or a degree and a referee report. Also, do not separate your transcript pages into multiple files. Upload all the transcript pages as one file. I will now hand over to Jenny to cover the next section.
Gender equality is an integral part of the Australian government development policy. Australia Awards aims to ensure equal participation and benefit to the program by both men and women. Men and women have a vital role as transformative leaders in promoting gender equality and social inclusion in their workplaces and communities. Australia Awards Africa ensures that as many eligible women as possible are reached at the award promotion stage, and that every effort is made to redress gender disparities across the awards cycle. We strongly encourage all female applicants who meet the eligibility criteria to apply for a scholarship. We have various processes in place to support women to address gender-related barriers. Please visit our website to read our alumni stories and to get more information about the support that may be available to you. Likewise, we encourage people with disabilities who are otherwise eligible for an Australia Award to apply. The program will ensure applicants with disabilities are equally able to access the application and selection processes by providing reasonable adjustments and additional assistance. For successful scholars who mobilise to Australia, the support may include assistance with a carer, assistive devices and mobility equipment, the purchase of adaptive technology, or the presentation of study materials in alternative formats. This is always evaluated on a case-by-case basis. Australia Awards Africa also acknowledges that people with disabilities are less likely to meet some of Australia Awards' current eligibility criteria, owing to the likelihood that because of structural barriers limiting their choices, people with disabilities have usually had access to fewer educational and life opportunities, including work opportunities when compared to others. To support equity of access, Australia Awards Africa requires that people with disabilities have a minimum of 3 years postgraduate work experience, and not 5, as is the general eligibility criteria. This work experience may include relevant volunteer experience, but it still will require an employer referee report from the volunteer host organization. We also believe that there is a range of skills gaps relating to disability inclusion. This includes the need for increased numbers of qualified people with disabilities working in disability specialist areas supportive of disability rights and inclusion. To support equity of access, people with disabilities who want to specialize in a disability rights and inclusion skills gap area may therefore already be undertaking or already hold a master's degree or equivalent in another study area. Please be aware that this eligibility criteria is only applicable to applicants with disabilities. Australia Awards Africa uses the Australian Disability Discrimination Act to describe and define disability. This includes physical, intellectual, psychiatric, sensory, neurological, and learning disability, physical disfigurement, and the presence in the body of disease-causing organisms. I'm now going to hand over to my colleague, who's going to explain a little bit more about the reintegration action plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. So reintegration action plans, why are they important? A reintegration action plan, or RAP, is an important document for your Australia Awards scholarship journey. It creates a framework for your scholarship and return home so that you can critically assess the opportunities available to you on award, focusing on the ones that will help you acquire the relevant technical knowledge and human skills to be positioned as a leader in your field on return home. The RAP requires you that you evaluate the current state of play in your home country, identifying a development issue you wish to address through your award. It then asks you pointed questions to consider what activities, knowledge, and networks you need to gain to help you to address these issues. A RAP is a living document that responds to your evolving experiences before you start your scholarship, as you study in Australia, and for the first 18 to 24 months after you return home. If you are successfully offered an Australia Awards scholarship, we will work with you to develop your RAP in great detail. So how is your RAP connected to your application? Your RAP expands on your application. It asks you to review your application form and summarize your supporting statement before identifying the development issue that you will address through your award. You should be able to see a clear link to why you applied for the award and the development impact that you wish to make. The RAP, in effect, expands on your application. So what is the supporting statement? The supporting statement is an integral part of your application. Many of the selection processes that the program will undertake will be based solely on the information that you provide in the answers under the supporting statement section. So there are 3 things that you'll need to address or articulate in your supporting statement. You must be able to demonstrate that you have done research about the course and university that you are applying to. You must be able to clearly articulate how the course selection relates to the skills gap that you have identified in your organization and to a larger extent your country, and be clear about how studying that specific course will help you contribute to the development needs that you have identified and how you'll be able to use these skills in your career when you return home. Please remember that Australia Awards Africa is a development scholarship program. We measure our applicants against their ability to have a positive contribution to their organization, community, and ultimately to their country. You must demonstrate a clear link between your current work experience, your choice of course, what you intend to do when you return home, your country's national development goal or vision. I'll now hand over to Jenny to discuss how to choose your university and course.
Thanks, Tito. Before you start your research on what course and what university you'd like to attend, ask yourself, what skills and knowledge do I want to gain? How will those skills help me in my current and my future employment? And what are my short and long-term career goals? Finding the course that's right for you is very important. To find the course that will best meet your needs, think about, do you want a degree that is focused in one area, or would you prefer one that allows more flexibility? Do you want a degree that incorporates a research project? Do you want a degree that includes an internship? Do you meet the entrance requirement for the course you are selecting? We recommend that you focus on course content and not the ranking or prestige of the university. Most applicants select courses based on their knowledge of cities in Australia or based on a ranked list of universities. But please remember, these rankings are subjective and dependent upon the criteria used. None of the international ranking matrices cover student satisfaction, and there is no correlation between the university ranking and the quality of your study experience. Every university in Australia is accredited and recognised by the Australian Commonwealth Government. All Australian universities are internationally recognised, and every university has its own strengths. Choosing the right university is as important as choosing the right course of study. Please do not select your university based purely on a ranking list. Rather, think about, what kind of environment do I want to live in? A big city, a smaller city, or a regional centre? There are universities in all areas in Australia. In the big capital cities such as Melbourne and Sydney, the cost of living is extremely high. Accommodation options off campus are becoming very difficult to find, and they're very expensive. Take the location of your proposed university into consideration. Other important factors, the weather, the size of the university, perhaps the presence of other students from your country. The biggest universities are the size of small cities, some having up to 80,000 students. It can take 30 minutes to walk from one end of a campus to the other. They can feel impersonal, and it can be more difficult to make friends and networks. Smaller universities offer the same high-quality facilities, teaching and research. Smaller universities may have smaller class sizes, meaning it can be easier to interact with your lecturers, access resources, and to build networks. Explore university websites to find out about the resources available to Australia Awards scholars, your accommodation options, the student population. It may also be helpful to draw up a list of criteria or a wish list for choosing both your course and university. When this is done, you can now start your research. A good starting point is the CRICOS website, www.cricos.education.gov.au. Go to the course search page. In the course name box, type in the name of a course relevant to your priority field of study. So, for example, a Master's of Gender Studies, Master of Agricultural Science, or Master of Environment. Click Start Search in the bottom right-hand corner of the page. The website will then bring up a list of relevant courses and universities. Click on the course you are interested in learning more about, and it will take you to the institution details page. You can then use this hyperlinked web address to get to the university homepage. Using the search button in the top right-hand corner, type in the title of the course. Navigate until you reach the course homepage. This will include an overview of the course. To find out whether this course will meet your needs in terms of the skills and knowledge you wish to gain, you need to look at the course content. It's important to note that every university organizes their websites slightly differently, but the course content is available for every course at every university. Click on the relevant tab that shows the structure of the course and the units of study. The title of each unit, and in Australia, subjects are typically called units. The title of each unit will be hyperlinked to an overview of what you will learn. It's this level of detailed research that is needed to make an informed choice. As you are going through the course information, remember your checklist. If including a research project is important to you, make sure you check whether this particular course offers it. Similarly, if you want a course that offers an internship opportunity, you need to check. If the course meets your need, do research on the university. If both the course and the university meet your criteria, you can put it on your shortlist. Please remember to take down the numerical reference number for each course that you select. You will need this information as part of your application. Then go back to Cricos and repeat the exercise with the other courses you initially found. Once you've got 4 or 5 on your shortlist, compare both the courses and the universities you've selected and select your final 2 preferences. Use Cricos to identify the Cricos code when completing your application. I'm now handing over to DC. Thank you.
We hope the information that we've shared has been helpful. Please keep an eye out on our website and social media platforms. We will be hosting additional information session webinars and question and answer sessions throughout the application window. The scholarship applications are open. Applicants must apply online at www.australiaawardsafrica.org. Don't forget to complete the pre-application checklist first. Thank you for listening and for your feedback. Please share your thoughts via email at alumni@australiaawardsafrica.org. Thank you for the team for your participation, and until next time, goodbye.